But let's get into our third storyteller, James Lynn. James started road cycling in 2024 after going on a bike tour through the Netherlands and Belgium. Since then, he has completed the CN Cycle for Chio and the Rideau Lakes bike tour, biked among the sand dunes in Abu Dhabi, and currently has his sights set on the 2026 Ottawa Ironman Triathlon. James, come on up.
James, and I'm going to be talking about my self-discovery journey through cycling. And please note that this presentation is going to be bilingual, English and French. So, this is my foldable Brompton bicycle. Up until about a year and a half ago, which, by the way, the fine folks here at Retro Rides have serviced for me several times. Up until about a year and a half ago, this was the only bicycle that I owned, which I used for commuting and recreational purposes. Now, the guy standing in front of you right now is currently training for the Ottawa Ironman Triathlon on August 2nd, which contains, in the middle, a 180-kilometer bicycle portion, which, as you can imagine, one does not do on Brompton. So, what happened between this and this? What? Cette photo a été prise en septembre 2024 à la frontière entre les Pays-Bas et la Belgique. Je suis en train de participer à une excursion en groupe, en vélo. C'était un tour guidé. Me voici avec les autres participants. Nous sommes sur le bord d'entrée dans la ville de Bruges. Cette excursion était ma première expérience parcourant jusqu'à 100 km à vélo en une journée. Et c'est aussi cette expérience qui m'a rendu un mordu du vélo de route. Alors, à mon retour au Canada, je me suis procuré mon premier vélo de route que l'on voit ici. Et qu'est-ce que j'ai fait avec ce vélo? Eh bien, la photo de gauche a été prise en mai 2025, un levée de fonds pour l'hôpital pour enfants. J'ai fait un parcours de 70 km. Et à noter, l'événement de cette année aura lieu ce dimanche, le 3 mai. Je participerai encore une fois, et cette fois je ferai un parcours de 95 km. La photo de droite a été prise dans la ville de Kingston en juin 2025. Me voici avec l'équipe avec laquelle j'ai complété la première moitié du Rideau Lakes Cycle Tour, organisé par Ottawa Bike Café. C'est un parcours aller-retour entre Ottawa et Kingston. Et avec cette équipe, j'ai parcouru 342 km en 2 journées. Alors voilà ce que j'ai fait à bord de mon vélo. Cette photo a été prise en novembre 2025. Je suis sur l'île Hudayriyat à Abu Dhabi, aux Émirats Arabes Unis. C'est une île qui est conçue spécifiquement pour le sport, incluant le vélo. Alors, il y a des longues pistes cyclables. J'ai loué un vélo et j'ai passé plusieurs heures parcourant les pistes cyclables sur cette île. Alors voilà le contexte qui me mène à aujourd'hui et mon entraînement pour le triathlon homme de fer. Question naturelle, pourquoi est-ce que j'entreprends de tels défis? Je dirais qu'il y a 3 raisons principales. La première raison, je tiens à préciser que ce n'est pas moi dans cette photo. La première raison, dans ma vie quotidienne, je suis une personne qui ne prend généralement pas de risques. Je suis le genre de personne qui réfléchira à maintes reprises avant d'entreprendre une action, qui doit être relativement certain du dénouement avant d'entreprendre une action, d'entreprendre un geste. Par contre, à l'encontre de tout cela, ma décision de participer au triathlon homme de fer comprend un très grand risque dans le sens qu'il y a une probabilité que je n'arriverai pas à le compléter. Et, à l'encontre de ma personnalité normale, c'est un risque que j'embrasse complètement. Cette incertitude, je l'embrasse complètement. Ce qui veut dire, à travers le vélo, à travers le triathlon, j'ai découvert ce nouveau côté de ma personnalité. Le côté qui est prêt à embrasser le risque, qui est prêt à embrasser l'incertitude. Ce qui est complètement différent de ma personnalité normale et que je n'aurais jamais su sans vélo sans le triathlon. Parce que, ultimement, ce que je crains le plus, ce n'est pas l'échec, c'est le regret de ne pas avoir essayé. Ce qui me mène à ma deuxième raison. The second reason why I'm doing this. If I have the good fortune of living long enough that my health begins to fail, I want to be able to look back and say, I have no regrets about what could have been. I took my shot while I had the chance, and now that my health is beginning to fail, I'm at peace with that. Because ultimately, the mental and physical health required to do difficult things, it's a gift. I didn't earn it. I didn't do anything to deserve it any more than the next person. It's simply something that I have. And using that gift to do difficult things is my way of showing gratitude for this gift that I have been given. Now there's a third reason why I'm doing this. And this reason goes beyond sports, goes beyond lifestyle, and it's my answer to the question of what's the meaning of life. Children have a natural fascination with the world because everything is new to them. They ask a lot of questions. Like, why do things look the way they do? Why do things work the way they do? Why do some things go up and other things go down? As an example, think of the first time somebody showed the finger trick to you, where they pulled it from apart. Like, how fun was that when you were a kid, when you saw that for the first time? Wow, do that again. How did you do that? Then the next day at school, you would show that same trick to your friends. And how fun was that? You know, as adults, the finger trick does not fascinate us anymore. It does not elicit the same emotional reaction in us anymore. And why is that? It's because as adults, we get used to things. We get used to things being a certain way, looking a certain way. And as a result, the things that used to fascinate us no longer fascinate us. The types of questions we used to ask, we no longer ask ourselves. So what's my point? My point is, I consider myself to be someone who never lost that childlike fascination with the world. I continue to ask myself questions that people my age no longer ask, such as, who am I? Whom do I want to be? What am I capable of? What's on the other side of that hill? It's going to take me a lot of work to climb that hill, but it's going to be worth it because of this curiosity I have about the world and about myself. Now this brings to mind the phrase tenet nosce, which became famous through the Matrix films when Neo was visiting the Oracle. This is Latin for know thyself. So if you ask an identity-related question to a child, such as, what makes you happy? Ask that to a child. You will get a straight and honest answer, such as, celebrating my birthday with my friends at the ball pit makes me happy. Story time every evening with my parents and my siblings makes me happy. Now, ask that same question to an adult. What makes you happy? I think you will get a canned response that leaves you wondering, is that really what makes this person happy? Or is that what someone else told them would make them happy? Or even worse, they may say, I don't know what makes me happy. So if you were going to take one thing away from this presentation it is, I hope that you will never lose your childlike fascination with the world. I hope that you will continue to ask questions about who you are, who you want to be, and what you're capable of. And in my case, cycling, triathlon, these activities that require me to push my physical and mental limits, that is how I maintain that childlike fascination with the world. This is how I continue to ask questions like, who am I? Now, in closing, for no other reason than because I can, I'll end with a few words in Mandarin Chinese. 感谢大家的出席. Thanks for attending.
Thank you, James. I feel like you tell us a bit about biking, but you have those two other things to do at the Ironman as well. So
But biking is the biggest one. It's the longest one in both distance and time, and since it's also my strongest sport, that's the main reason why I think I can do this.
Okay.
And then followed by a marathon.
Yeah.
So since you have that child sense of surprise and wonder, what's something that's happened to you recently that has made you feel that way? Joy or surprise or
Being invited here.
Well, yeah, that, and I'm training for the Tamarack Marathon on May 24th. And as recently as 8 or 9 months ago, I would have said, hell no, there's no way I'm ever doing a marathon. And then I decided to do the Ironman triathlon, and as part of that, I've been training for the marathon, and I am on the cusp of accomplishing things that I never thought would have been possible for me. Like I said, cycling is my strongest sport. Running, I didn't know the first thing about running until as recently as last summer. And now I'm on the cusp of running my first marathon. I never